Today's top stories at NBR: investment management firm raising Australian $100 million to invest in female-led ventures. IKEA agrees to purchase land at Sylvia Park. Yellow's Australian majority owner gives the company a big thumbs up. And there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Thursday, December 2nd. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. New National Party leader Christopher Luxon has appointed former leader Simon Bridges as the party's new finance and infrastructure spokesperson. It comes just 2 days after Luxon was confirmed as leader following Bridges' decision to withdraw from the contest. Bridges decided that after meeting Luxon on Tuesday morning before the scheduled caucus meeting that afternoon to choose the new leader to replace Judith Collins. Luxon told reporters at his press conference that afternoon he had done no deals to win the support of MPs and that his discussions with them had revolved around strategic direction of the party, not what jobs they should get. A global alternative investment management firm is raising Australian $100 million to invest in female-led ventures across the Asia-Pacific, with New Zealand a key focus following the recent opening of an Auckland office. Artesian has launched the Australian $100 million Female Leaders VC Fund to target Series A and B funding rounds in female startups. The fund has already attracted Australian $45 million of cornerstone investment from two Australian industry super funds, Host Plus and Legal Super. The firm pitches itself as an alternative investment manager that focuses on underrepresentation and market failures that result in mispriced or undervalued assets. The fund's portfolio manager, Ali Clunis-Ross, pointed to research that found that 95% of global venture capitalists were male, while startups with male-only founders received more than 85% of global VC funding. IKEA has agreed to purchase for an undisclosed price 3.2 hectares of land at NZX-listed Kiwi property Sylvia Park, where it will launch its first New Zealand store. The conditional sale and purchase agreement for the land at Te Aotearangi Rise to the east of the shopping centre was signed on November 30 and is IKEA's first concrete move in New Zealand. Kiwi property intends to build a 6,430 square metre complementary large format retail centre adjacent to the land sold to IKEA. Early last year, IKEA confirmed a brick and mortar presence in Auckland as well as an e-commerce offering, a planning studio in Wellington and a second smaller format store in Christchurch. NZ Bus could be on the move again, with UBS reportedly advising owner Next Capital on approaches from interested buyers. Infratil sold NZ Bus to Sydney-based Next Capital with the help of UBS New Zealand in December 2019, which would make a sale now quite a quick turnaround. However, it's been 2 wild years with COVID-19 striking and investment capital flowing into infrastructure funds that are in turn looking to acquire assets with stable government-assisted returns. NZ Bus operates a fleet of 780 buses from 11 depots underpinned by long-term contracts in Auckland, Wellington and the Bay of Plenty, and employs 1,700 people. The Australian private equity firm that is an almost 80% shareholder in Yellow Holdings Limited has given the New Zealand company a big thumbs up for its first year under new management, saying it's one of our favourite assets. Samuel Terry Asset Management, owned by high-profile investor and philanthropist Fred Willard, gave Yellow a glowing scorecard for its management and its discipline in paying cash to shareholders in the fund manager's annual letter to shareholders, even while seemingly giving it a swipe by suggesting it's in a declining industry. Joining the NBR's Dita DeBoni was Yellow CEO Tracy Taylor.
Definitely still print is hugely valuable, but also bringing our digital revenue up to sort of an even place, and that has been quite, I think, intriguing for them. And they're also, I think this is the first time they've really got involved in how a business runs and are enjoying it.
Yellow CEO Tracy Taylor with Dita DeBoni there. An interim report into drug buying agency Pharmac has found its convoluted procurement process puts off pharmaceutical companies becoming involved. The independent panel is chaired by former Consumer New Zealand Chief Executive Sue Chetwin and is looking at how well Pharmac performs against its objectives and whether those need changing. It's also looking at how quickly it makes decisions, how transparent those are, and whether access to medicines is equitable for Māori, Pacific and disabled people. One point raised in the interim report is that Pharmac might place an excessive focus on containing costs and that the cost-saving model might not be the right one for the future, even though the panel's terms of reference did not include looking at whether the agency is given enough money to do its job. In a separate statement, Health Minister Andrew Little said Pharmac's budget this year was $1.1 billion, a 20% increase on how much it got in 2017 when Labour came into government. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, in his weekly Hunter's Corner column, Tim Hunter looks at the most expensive IPO of the year, while in her column, Rachel Smalley shares her experiences with Jake Miller. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again from around lunchtime tomorrow for the morning's NBR Trending Stories. Then same time, same place, right here again from 5:30 tomorrow and through the weekend for another NBR This Week.